Hello everyone and welcome back. In the previous video we saw how the Cabanero pipeline run workflow is with a manual run. In this video we will try to see a demo of how the Cabanero pipeline run is via a webhook. So we have our OpenShift cluster where we have the Cabanero installed on it, and we have the GitHub repository where it is our application. Through the Tekton dashboard, we will create a webhook in this GitHub repository. So what is webhook? So a webhook is associated with this GitHub repository, and whenever a new pull request will come in, then that webhook will tell the new pipeline run for that particular collection to be executed. So webhook will apply the GitHub repository first to the OpenShift cluster and the container registry as the second input to the cluster. As soon as a new pull request comes into picture, then this webhook will initiate the pipeline run. Once the pipeline run is executed for that particular collection, the Cabanero pipeline will start. The Cabanero pipeline will then do the usual thing of creating a build task pod, which will try to pull the project from the GitHub repository and try to create a container image after building the project. That container image is stored in the container registry. Then the deploy task pod will be created, and this will try to get the image from this container registry and try to deploy that as another application in the application pod. Finally, we can access our application through the web browser using the URL. And this is how Cabanero pipeline run workflow will be shown in the demo via a webhook. Before starting the demo, you should know how to go onto Tekton dashboard. For that, you should have the OpenShift web console or command line from which you can access your cluster. If you are on OpenShift web console like this, you can go under the applications and click the routes. This will show you Tekton dashboard link, and you can just click on the Tekton dashboard link to open up the Tekton dashboard. Another way to get onto the Tekton dashboard is once you get logged in into your cluster by OC login command, you can run the command OC get routes. This will give you Tekton dashboard URL, and you can use that URL and run it into your browser. This is how the Tekton dashboard looks. In this Tekton dashboard, you can see that currently there are 5 to 6 pipelines which are already been activated, and for the purpose of this demo we will be running the Java microprofile project, so it will run this Java microprofile build deploy pipeline. In order to move ahead, let's try to see the Java microprofile application in the GitHub repository. This is the same Java microprofile project which we have used in earlier videos, where we have source folder, app deploy file, pom.xml file, and appcd-config YAML file. We'll be using this application and we'll be running the pipeline against it. Now coming back to our Tekton dashboard, first step will be to go in the secrets tab and create a Docker Hub secret. This Docker Hub secret will be needed so that the pipeline run can push the container image onto the Docker Hub. So to create a secret, I'll give the name my Docker secret. We have to choose the namespace, which will be Cabanero, because the pipelines will be running in this workspace namespace. I'm creating the Docker registry secret with my username, and I've copied my password. That's the password. Then we have to select the service account against which we'll be running the pipeline, and for now we will be using Cabanero-operator as our service account. which has the rights to run the pipeline. And this will be the URL, so it will be https colon slash slash index.docker.io version 1 forward slash, and then you say submit. So this will create the Docker secret for you. After you create the Docker secret, now we have to create a webhook for this GitHub repository. To see where the webhooks are located, you need to check the settings and webhooks. Right now there are none of the webhooks created for this repository, so we will go back in our Tekton dashboard and create one. To create a webhook, you have to click this webhooks tab. To create this webhook, let's give a name to the webhook. Since this is Java microprofile, I gave that name, and then you have to go and pick up the repository in the GitHub for which you will be creating the webhook. Now the next thing here is the access token. This will be the access token for the GitHub repository, and let's try to create one access token and use it here. So once you go back to your GitHub repository, you can go under your account on the right hand corner and select settings, and you have to click developer settings and personal access tokens. I'll create a new one for now. And while create one, you have to give some node. So we can say token for webhook, and you have to give repo and admin repo underscore hook rights for it, and generate token. This token will be accessible only once, so you have to copy it and paste it somewhere. For now I'll be using as it is. So here under the access token, I'll select plus sign and would say just gave a random name, my GitHub token, and pasted that token. So this will create my access token for the webhook. Now the second part of the webhook creation is target pipeline settings. So we will select the namespace, which will be Cabanero, where our pipeline will be running, and we will select the pipeline as Java microprofile build deploy pipeline, and the service account as Cabanero-operator. And this is the Docker registry where the image will be pushed. So you can give your Docker Hub registry here. And say create. So the webhook is created successfully. Now once the webhook is created, let's verify that webhook is actually created in the GitHub repository. So we'll go in the settings and webhooks. So you will see the webhook is created. Right now it is showing some warning, but we don't need to worry about it. As we said during the beginning of this video, whenever a new pull request will be created, this webhook will trigger the pipeline. And now the webhook is in place. So let's try to create a pull request with some changes. I'll just add a comment in this class file saying comment 2, and we'll try to create a new branch and create a pull request. As soon as this is done, the pull request will be created and the pipeline runs should start. And this is how the pipeline run is started by the webhook. We can go inside this pipeline run and check the status. Now in the build task, if you see, the logs is shown for this assemble extract step, and it's trying to build the project, and in this step it will try to push the container image of the build project in the Docker Hub. I'm pausing this for now and we'll start again in some time. So the build task got completed successfully, and in the logs we see the build was successful and the image was pushed successfully to the Docker Hub, and then the deploy task is also completed, which tried to deploy our application onto the Kubernetes platform. Once we see that the pipeline has run successfully with all tasks completed, then you can go back to your OpenShift web console, and under the applications tab you need to click routes. Once you get here in the routes, there will be Java microprofile pod created. So if you open the link, this is the Java microprofile application from the GitHub repository. So we were successfully able to run the pipeline and get our application deployed onto Kubernetes platform, and we are able to access it through the web browser. And that is the end of the demo. Thank you.